Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on March the 1st. The year's 2023. Let's talk trading. How to fix your trading problem, part 3 with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. Walmal, we got cut off by the fastest 15 minutes of trading yesterday. So we're trying to remember where we left off.
Yeah, to be honest, I really don't recall exactly where we left off, but one of the things I was thinking about is I know that yesterday I didn't trade, and the reason why I didn't trade was because I had told the listeners that reality was that it was an anniversary of something tragic that happened in my family's life a year ago, and just better safe than sorry. Walk away from situations like that, just not worth it. And I think it's just the better part of valor just to go and say, hey, we're only human. And I think that that's important for us to recognize that we are only human. In fact, I was telling you earlier, we were trading earlier, and and I said, you know what, with the flip flop boxes, I was trading. That's the method I was using today to trade. And the flip flop box was I rather the price moved out of the flip flop box exactly how you'd want it to move out. I had the M30 going in my direction. I had M1 going in my direction. I had M5 going in my direction. I had 3 indicated 2 dots, all going in my direction, going to the trade, and guess what it did? And it just part of trading. And I think that's important to note that, there are things that just are not in your control, and there's nothing you can do about it. And you can sit there and get mad, and I've seen traders, literally throw things, off their desk. I've seen people just like cuss up a storm, like not just the normal whatever, exasperation, but more of like, I mean, just lose it, just totally lose it, and you can't do that, you got to keep a cool, calm head. Cool, calm heads, they win the event. And so I like to go, everybody knows I like to talk about sports. I love sports, and I want to go, this is sort of like, in track and field, it's like an event, okay? What we're doing is we have an event, and the team has an event. Yeah, you may lose a race, you may lose the 400, okay? But you know what? You have the opportunity then to go win the 800. You have the opportunity to go and, run a 200 and win that. You have all those other times that you can go and sit there and run it. And if you win the 200 and the 800, but you lose the 400, hey, you're going home with some gold in your pocket. That's the same thing with trading. You just got to go and say, hey, stuff happens. The market did exactly the opposite of what I thought it would do, and statistically it should have done, but it didn't do because nothing is an absolute. And then, I complained earlier to you where, I'm sitting here with my broker, and I went and it seemingly I had TP set on. This happened 3 times. I had TP set out there, and my chart says it when it hit that TP, but broker didn't take it. So those trades were sitting on their server, and for whatever reason they didn't get filled. And I can sit there and get mad and literally throw things around and get all whatever. And I think my reaction to it was, the stinking broker did it again. And it's the type of thing where it's just part of trading. Or in reality, is to defend brokers. Because I'm running on an ECN, they may not have had a price on the other side to satisfy it. I can't believe that's true, but there is that possibility. Well, price moves so fast that it wasn't able to be filled.
Well, it should fill. It's a market order. The problem is that there might not have been enough volume to fill your order.
Right, exactly. And Now, again, I mean, I'm trading such low amount compared to, what's actually being traded on a regular basis in Forex. I can't imagine it's just, to more than likely, it's sort of like possible glitch. I mean, that's just part of the trading game. And I think, you had an issue yesterday, with your broker where
Oh,
you couldn't
yeah.
go get out of orders. You want to explain what happened to you?
No, I couldn't place any orders. I could get out, but I couldn't. It's like I wanted to buy, and it's like I hit it, and it's like, how come I'm not long? And then I wanted to short. I hit it. It's like, how come I'm not short? So I went to the journal, and it said the order entered, but it didn't fill it. So I had to
Yeah,
contact my broker, and actually I had to contact the firm, and they contacted the broker, and they said, okay, it'll be fixed in about a half an hour. What I probably should have done was just left everything alone and just, but I got back in, and since I was, still a little discombobulated from that, I didn't make some wise decisions.
yeah, and that's the thing, Gio, that's the whole thing with this whole head game is
Right.
that if you don't go and you got to go and sit there and just be that duck. You know, it's funny because my, my wife sometimes, not to pick on my wife, I shouldn't do that, but sometimes, little things sometimes will go and, get her very, very upset. She doesn't really get angry. She just gets upset and starts getting a little bit defeated on things. And especially somebody says something, about her or one of her kids or one of her grandkids, and it's especially if it's not true, and it's like you just got to go and say, Lee, the reality is sometimes you just have to go and just be like a duck, let the water hit you, and let it roll off your back, and move on to the next opportunity. And that's what we have to do with trading. We have to be like ducks sometimes, and like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we just have to just let it hit and let it flow off of us. And when it flows off of us, we should be good, and because if you, sort of like, you had mentioned something to me yesterday about a particular trader. I think it was Mighty One or somebody else. And do you want to explain to the viewers about his idea about having confidence in your method, if
Hmm.
you recall, and how many times you'd have to lose in a row, if you
Oh
had
no, no,
so that.
that was Dragon. That wasn't
Oh,
Mighty
okay.
One. That was Dragon 33. No, what he had said was in a post, he says, with this method, it's really hard to lose 10 times in a row. I mean, you just either you're not trading the method, or you just hit a, just a bad beat. So he says, like, if you start out with a lousy $200 account, he says really what you need to do is save up for 400, and then you divide your money. So if you lose 10 times in a row, you've only lost $200 as opposed to losing the 400. And
Right.
it's one of those things, if you have confidence in the method, like what he did, and that's how he ran his account up huge, because he's basically playing off the semaphores. And he was, and let me, in fact, I can switch over. He would look at an M15 chart, and his big thing was you let that candle close that puts the three ball on, then you wait for the next candle and see what it does. And so he'd be waiting. Then you see how this candle pulled back underneath the low of that three ball candle here on M15. That's when he would trigger into the trade. And you can see right now it actually ran from about 20 to 35 on that, but he'd be looking to get out at the next two ball somewhere up here, or three ball. He would just ride it.
Yeah, and that's but which is pretty cool way of doing it. But the thing is, he's got confidence in it, and that's what we have to do. Is whatever method we're trading. I don't care if you're a squiggly guy or a fib guy or a horizontal line guy. You got to have confidence in your method, and you got to figure out, okay, what are the likelihoods that I'm going to go and lose X number of trades in a row? Basically zero. If you're doing flip flops, losing 10 trades in a row would be it's zero. you'd have to, if you're following the method, there's just no way that can happen. I mean, I guess it could happen, but the likelihood is so slim. So what do? You figure out what's the most I'm willing to lose on my account, divide that by that number of trades, and that's how much you go and risk. And but by following that simple rule, now you got some confidence behind you. I can take 2, 3, 4 trade losses in a row and feel fine, and recognize that, hey, that's just part of trading, and I can be that duck. I can let it roll off of me because I know it's going to come back, and when it comes back, I'll be in good shape, and that'll be great. And but that's part of trading there.
Yeah, for sure. And the other thing is with the flip-flop boxes, you can split your account again, and one half for longs and one half for shorts. And so you're not hedging, you're just taking every trade you see. And sooner or later, you're going to trade your way out of the mess.
Yeah, it may not be pleasant, but yeah.
Yeah, it might not look pretty when you print it all out.
That's just part of trading again, and that's the thing. We all have to figure those things out. And once we have figured it out, we can have some confidence. That's why I say, I haven't said it in a while, but I used to say it all the time on these videos, is that you need to go and figure out exactly the method you're going to trade, and don't trade it the way I trade. Don't trade it the way TheRumpledOne trades it. You need to follow the rules exactly as the rules are, but you need to go and make it your own. And some people may say, you're talking out two sides of your mouth. Well, what I mean by that is you need to figure out how much you're willing to risk. You need to go and figure out, what your target prices are, in terms of profit, so that it matches your personality. You need to go and figure out which method of all the methods that are out there that you want to go and use. You got to make that your own. And if you do that, that's when you can go and make some money. You can't go and take, especially when you're first starting out, or especially, let's say you've been out there trading for 5, 6, 7 years, and you still aren't making money. Well, the reality is, either you're just not suited for trading, and that's a possibility. That there are people who just aren't suited for trading. Okay, that's the way it is. That's the way it is. And maybe there's something else that you can do that you're better at. But at the same time, if it turns out that you really do think that you're suited to do this, well, figure out why. Am I doing something like mixing and matching different methods and getting confused? I'll go and turn in my friend TRO here. Sometimes I tease him about it, because sometimes he's seeing all the different methods at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes he'll get himself into trouble because what happens is he's seeing this and he's seeing that and he's seeing that. And sometimes you do get things that are, they are counter to each other. Well, if they're counter to each other, well, guess what? That means that, you've got too many things there. Pick a method, follow the method, do the method, and just be happy with it, and that's just the way you got to do it sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah. And, one thing, though, you said about making the method your own, but if you're starting out and you're not profitable, you don't have your own method. You have to follow something as is. Follow the rules, the recipe, the menu, the plan, whatever you want to call it. But find out if it works. And if it works and you followed it, then you're on to something. But if you followed it and it didn't work, then maybe that method doesn't work for you. But the thing is, it's go back to the turtle traders where they all were taught the same method. Some were profitable and some weren't. So it wasn't, the trader, it was how they traded it. And fellow traders, the fastest 15 minutes in trading is up. So we'll probably continue this talk. I don't know for how long, but yeah, fixing trading problems is a big one. And as always, when you're at your trading platform, trading computer, or your phone, just always remember and never forget, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is TheRumpledOne, over and out.